Good evening, everybody. Call to order the regular board meeting of the Batavia Public Library. And Elizabeth, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carrie Ann, will you call the roll?
Here. Ford. Here. Hubbard. Here. Larson. Here. Wow.
Present.
Lisa.
Here.
Casano. Here.
All right, everyone's in attendance. The next item on our agenda is public comments. Would anyone here or online like to make a comment to the board? Hearing none, we'll move on to approval of the agenda. Would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I have one thing I want to change. The renovation overview presentation, 7-1. It kind of gives the impression that we are getting updates on the renovation. Pardon? On the, never mind, this one.
You're talking about the minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I move that we approve the agenda. I second.
Okay, so a motion by trustee Hubbard and a second by trustee Larson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the agenda is approved. Okay, next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda. And the consent agenda consists of the December 16th, 2025 regular board meeting minutes and the December 2025 financials. Would someone like to make a motion to approve or amend the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as stated.
Second.
A motion by trustee Fasano and a second by trustee Lowe. Any discussion?
Yes, the board meeting minutes for December 16th, on the 7-1.
Which one? 7?
7-1. It says renovation overview presentation. That makes it sound like that we are getting updates on renovation, and we're really not. This is more of a overview for the budget or usability.
It's still a part of the renovation process.
It wasn't a design meeting, it was just...
No, it was it was just an overview of the whole renovation project. It was a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. I don't feel like we are getting updates on the renovation, on the project. Well, we got notification from George Sheets that he had more information than what we had, and saying what was going to happen. So I just thought we are kind of on the outskirts. We don't really know what's going on in the renovation project, but this is
The letter
more.
from him was based more on conjecture than like
Yeah.
actual plans. I do feel like the minutes accurately reflect that we got a presentation update on the renovation process, because that is what happened.
Yes.
That's what happened in the minutes. Like, that's what happened at the meeting. That's what's reflected in the minutes. I don't think.
It wasn't any details about what the renovation is going to look like per se, because we don't know the full picture yet. It was, I mean, and really we presented that whole presentation for the benefit of BATV, so that it was sharing kind of the whys and hows of doing the renovation for the public. And since
Additionally, we got talking points for both the staff and the board, so that gives you as much information as we all have at this point. And those talking points were 2 weeks ago, roughly,
last month.
maybe a month, and nothing has there's been no significant addition to that as of this point.
Any information that George may have was probably from the breakfast with the mayor when I did a similar, but a little longer presentation for the chamber members.
I still thought he got more information than we had.
But that has nothing to do with what we're approving here. What we're
But it
approving
just
here
makes it
is the,
sound like that we are getting information on this overview presentation. We don't have an overview.
We do.
we do, that's
We
what
do.
happened at the meeting. And so
Yeah.
we're not saying, if you want more information, that's fine, but this is, we're approving what happened at the meeting. What happened at the meeting is we got a presentation. On the renovation.
It's not, it was more budget than it was.
So are you saying
It
you
wasn't
want?
more budget,
No,
it
it
was,
wasn't.
why do we need to do the renovation? And if you open the document, it's about why we're doing the renovation, how it's going to impact the community, how it's going to impact the library and the staff and the public. And it's more about the planning of the project than anything.
Which is part of the renovation. That's why I like the wording, because it is all part of the renovation. It's not the actual physical things, but that is all part of the process.
Nobody else agrees, and we'll just move on.
So we have a motion. Chris?
I was gonna say, I think if there's concerns, we can discuss it. I just don't think right now is the time to discuss it because we're approving the minutes.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Any further discussion? Then all in favor say aye.
Roll call.
Pardon?
It's a consent agenda, we have to do a roll call.
Oh, thank you. Mary Ann, would you call the roll?
Ditchman,
Aye.
Ford, Hubbard. Aye. Larson,
Aye.
Lowe,
Aye.
Russo,
Aye.
Fasano, aye.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Moving on. Number 7, new business, 7.1, limestone at the library.
So I would like to say thank you and welcome to co-owners Leah and Joy of Limestone Coffee. They have been in the cafe now for 1 week and a day. And we're really excited to have them here, and we wanted to invite you to the board meeting so that you could say hello to the board and kind of introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about Limestone.
Thank you. Great. Yeah, we are equally grateful and thankful to be in this space at the library. We've just felt incredibly welcomed and helped so much by Joe, Kathy, Caesar, Misty, Felix, Andrew, like, yeah, just everybody, yeah, just anytime, anytime we have like a question or like, because there's a lot of questions right now. Everyone has been so helpful and just made everything go really smoothly for the first week.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the transition has gone really, really well. So,
yeah,
we everybody.
Just enjoyed seeing the vibe at the Limestone at the Library version of our business, and really been enjoying it. We are not any of the predecessors that have been there. Some portions have overlap. Coffee, baked goods. Our menu, our drink menu is exactly the same as it is at our, what we're calling our river location. There's a little bit of nuance around the food offering, especially compared to what Flyleaf and Chapters and anything before that offered. We're a little bit simpler menu, but we're really leaning into emphasizing the amazing lunch options half a block away from here, and trying to push our other small business owners that are really good at that. So,
Yeah, the food menu is simpler, but I would say our drink menu is expanded, like from maybe what previous cafes here.
Yes.
So we have a pretty diverse drink menu. So. Yeah.
And so, thank you. And Caesar has put together a short video welcoming Limestone and introducing Limestone at the library to the public.
Well, let's talk about that actually really quick. So
Yeah.
We use a local baker who, she lives here in Batavia, and she has been doing some of our other baked goods at the river for a year now. And so when this opportunity came about, we reached out to her and we just said, hey, we really want to highlight you at the library location. So she makes our cookies and scones, and we're continuing to interact with her about other possibilities. And as we hear feedback, like from customers, like trying to get maybe a few more gluten and vegan items, or gluten-free and vegan items, which we have more at the river location, but trying to get her stuff.
More diverse offering.
Yeah.
And she's been really good about feedback, so we're.
Yeah, but it's been fun to use another local woman-owned business, you know, actually a lot of our vendors and people we use are other woman-owned businesses and small businesses, so we have a lot of fun supporting other.
Do you think she's going to be able to keep up with the demand of 2 locations?
So far, yeah, that's a good question. Our other location is still primarily we bake on site down at the river, so that's mostly that's still our own operation. But
Yeah, she's, the reason why we have been using her for a year and pursued her about being highlighted at the second location for our business is that she is consistent, thorough, quality, predictable, responsive. I mean, just really, it's Breads and Bakes Co. So if you go on any social media and look that up, she is just fantastic. And
she actually did a really cute post last week about the library and having her product here, and she went around all over inside the library taking pictures and posting. It was really cute.
Really
so,
cute,
yeah.
So.
You guys have created a huge problem for many of us Batavians. Now, when we meet for coffee with friends, we don't know where to go. The river or here?
River or library.
Are they going to be different hours?
Good question.
Good question. Yeah, Monday through Saturday here, 9 to 5. So just closed on Sunday. And then at the river, Monday through Thursday, 6 to 1. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 6 to 3 at the river. So here, 9 to 5.
So it depends on what time you and your friends are going to get.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Just as long as you're open for the 10 o'clock walking group.
Both locations.
That is a problem. That's a problem. You have to So, thank
So
you.
now, Caesar, if you'd like to show your.
Sure.
Your.
Here it goes.
So we've owned and operated Limestone by the River down on Wilson Street since 2018. And the business has changed a lot and has grown in different ways, and we've learned a lot. And when the opportunity came about to open a location at the library, it just felt like the right moment. We were very excited, get to see perhaps a different community, a different customer base of Batavians and local people, but also see some repeat customers, and we're excited about that.
We both really love providing a community space, and we both really love coffee. That's kind of like the basis of Limestone.
It's one of our values to provide a really welcoming, inclusive space for our customers and
for our employees.
For our baristas. Especially in a world where we have so many drive-thrus and pickups, and people can do things on the internet instead of connecting human to human.
Adding to that, there's small businesses that we love working with in the library now as a part of one of those organizations. In a deeper level, like artists that we get to support each month on the walls of both places now, and different local vendors that it's just really fun to be in that and enjoy it and feel like it's a real society and community working together. I don't think we realized how excited our community was going to be, and it's been very encouraging.
Yeah, it's been fun to hear the buzz around town and people talking about it and catching us at the grocery store and being like, oh, we've heard about your second location. We're so excited for you. And so it's made us feel really proud of our business, and then so happy to continue to serve.
My name is Joy Mason. I'm one of the owners of Limestone at the Library.
And my name is Leah Lehman. Hope to see you soon.
Very nice.
Thanks, Caesar. Thank you.
Well, we want to thank you for coming today to help everybody get to know that you're here. And the coffee shop has always been such a nice amenity for the library that we're looking forward to continue to provide that service with you.
Thank
So,
you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Well, and ironically, like, I think both of us, we've always come to the cafe here. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, my kids are now in high school, but when they were little, I mean, we were here twice a week for all the programming and stopping in at chapters. And
Yeah,
so it's just fun to just continue that story, you know, and be part of that
Yes.
story, so.
it's very meaningful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Thank you.
Good night, good to see you. Bye, Rennie.
Okay, moving on. 7.2, approve the Shales McNulty Construction Services for providing construction management services of the library's renovation project.
Yeah, I checked with our attorney, and we do have to have, an official vote. It's a voice vote. To just bring them on board as our project manager for the renovation.
And this is not the contract, this is just saying that we're,
Yeah, that they're
we're
gonna be doing.
This is approving for
choice.
negotiations, correct? So that we're not set in stone at this point. I mean, I'm assuming that we're gonna go with them, but if for some reason the negotiations come out way different than
Yeah.
expected.
Okay. Would someone like to make
I
that
have a
motion?
question before you make a
Sure.
motion, please. I reviewed their information late this afternoon. They're involved in a number of projects. And I'm pretty sure that we asked at the interview, but I don't remember for sure, how they would handle having us on board as well. And I do know that they dedicated for one person being general manager, no, supervisor. Superintendent would be here full-time. How will they handle us with all their other projects? Because there were a number of them. And they say they're ongoing, but what they don't say, and what I don't know, is at what stage, the beginning, the middle, the end of all these projects.
So each project is going to have its own project manager.
Okay.
And we have ours, which is, I think his name is Chris.
Yes, it is Chris.
Yeah.
Okay,
So he's not working on other projects. He will be just working on ours.
that answers the question.
And he will be here every day of the renovation.
Okay. As well as the other gentleman.
The superintendent.
Superintendent, I think, is the title.
Yeah, and he will also, those two are going to be assigned to us solely.
Okay.
I don't think that's how that's going to work. I'm sorry. I think your field staff, your field supervisor, he'll be here every day. That guy that's going to be watching contractors work.
Right.
He'll be here
That one.
observing the work.
That's Chris.
The office side, that person probably will have multiple projects they're working on, but they will lead the work from the office side. That's how we would do it at my firm.
That's how I understood.
That Chris is our, see, and I've heard different titles used for his role, but my understanding, he's the project manager?
I don't know what his title is here, but he's here every day.
Yeah, he'll be here every day.
Yeah, so your field superintendent or project, whatever, superintendent, whatever that is, that person will be every day. But your office side, those folks typically have multiple projects over time. That's what you're typically do.
Okay, so would someone like to make that motion?
Yes, I move to approve Shades McNulty Construction Services for project management services for the library's renovation project.
I'll second that motion.
Motion by trustee Larson and a second by trustee Fasano. Any discussion? Then we just need a voice vote.
Yep.
So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it carries unanimously. Okay. 7.3, accept the FY26 per capita grant application.
So the application is due on the 30th of January, and it's a very simple application. Excuse me, but now with the new library standards, we have to answer it a little differently. So if you meet the core standards, remember there were like 3 levels? And if you meet the core standards, the first level, you just check it off, and that's it for each of these sections. if there is something that you have to work on to meet or address those core standards, then you can indicate that in the application. And the only one that we had an issue with was programming, because I think this is a new addition, a new addition to their standards is having a programming policy. So we don't have a programming policy at this time, but we will have one before the end of the fiscal year, which I indicated in the application. And so the funds that we receive for per capita, to the right page. We'll use the grant funds for collection management, enhancing our print and digital materials, as well as our library of things collection, which is the same thing we did last year with our application. And then, in addition to the application, we have to include the certification of eligibility, which means that we follow ALA and something else. Sorry, opening it up.
The Bill of Rights.
Yeah. We've adopted the American Library Association's Bill of Rights. And then they started that, I think, last year. I think that was when there was all that censorship and challenges with books and things. And then with this year's application, we also have to send an expenditure report for the 2 years prior, fiscal year 24, for how the funds were used. And so that's what this expenditures report is for fiscal year 24, indicating that what different areas we used it for, which was access, collection management, public services, programming, youth, young adult services, technology, and marketing, as we had indicated in that year's application. Okay. Any questions about any of that?
It's around 37.
About 38,000. And once they do another census, I imagine that our population will have grown, and so we should see an increase closer to 40,000 probably.
This is a nice opportunity to get money that the state provides to libraries based on population to support programs and special projects. So it's a great thing. So I will make the motion for that. And we need a second.
I'll second that.
Motion by Trustee Russo and a second by Trustee Beechman. Any discussion? Then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. And it's approved.
Take the money and run.
Number 8, President's Report. Before I go, does anyone have anything to share with the board?
Marianne, I checked our Wi-Fi. I've been out of town, got in this morning, but I had Wi-Fi number 8, and when I was trying to do the meeting, it came up low signal. And it seems like the Wi-Fi's that are lower in number, they're older, and they don't have they're not as good. So I've gone in and requested, and I told them when I was checking out that I was having a problem. She goes, oh, let me get you a better one, or a newer one. So I've got 57, so I'm happy about that. But if you can maybe do something, get rid of the old and some new, just might help. And then do we want to discuss now what I discussed earlier, or does anybody have any, or we can just pass it. If nobody agrees with me, that's fine. So
What was that?
on the 7-1, just the wording, the renovation.
So the question that I was hearing from you is, you don't think that we're receiving all of the information that may be available? Because as far as I know from being a trustee, and I've been a trustee less than a year, I have all the information that I need at this point. I feel like mean, just a lot of decisions need to be made still because it's an ongoing process. And I don't believe we as trustees are making those decisions, so we need to know about them after they've been made. So I'm not sure that there's any, and I'm not even sure that any of that information is out there yet. So I'm unsure of what missing information is out there, but I don't know what I don't know. So
Right, well,
you could be right, but I have no reason to believe that we're missing any information. So if there's any information that you think we're missing,
And I think in specific to the mural that George sent letters about, that has not been in any official documentation or anything.
It has.
Oh, it has, okay.
Well, because we talked about it.
I know we talked about it.
The architect presented their proposed plans, right? And so a couple of us raised some objections about some of their concepts, and we're waiting to hear back as they move forward with that design. So I know, I personally was bothered by that, and I have some concerns about opening up the atrium and sound levels, but the architect.
I do remember we had discussions on
Yeah,
it,
so we talked, so we know the plans in mass, right? We don't know a lot of
Broad
details yet. Yes, broad perspective, thank you. So,
This much.
and I don't know where the architect is with their process and when they're gonna get to the details. Well, I don't know, they've gotta be getting close, right?
Well, I was planning on giving an update on the renovation in my director's report, which, and I have a schedule that they gave me yesterday about when the next meetings that they will be presenting information to the board.
Okay.
So this is all information I was going to be sharing with you today, because this is my opportunity to do it at the meeting. So, and I just met with them yesterday.
Does anybody attend those meetings on the board?
None of the board members should be attending the meetings. This is what the staff and I are supposed to be doing. And
I understand that concept, but I just was wondering, how does George know more than me know?
I don't think George does know more than we know or that you know. He was at the mayor's breakfast and he saw my presentation and he had thoughts about the renovation and he expressed them. But I mean, the only way he would know anything outside of, I mean, I haven't talked to him. He certainly hasn't contacted me. It would have to come from a staff member or a board member. And I have no idea if that's even happened. So I don't think he knows any more than you do.
Wasn't the architect's presentation on BATV also though? So he would have seen it there, right?
But again, it's no more information than that you haven't been privy to.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime we've seen plan designs, it could be possible for somebody to interpret it that, hey, they're removing the mural because they're blasting everything open and making it all open.
But I'd also like to say that when I did the slide presentation at the mayor's breakfast, I made a point of saying, this is not what it's going to look like. This gives you an idea of the feel or the style or the whatever. But those were renderings, they were not final plans. And I was hesitant to put them in for just this reason.
Yep.
But at the same time, if I hadn't put them in, there would have, I mean, you know.
Too many questions.
Yeah.
Christie, you seem to be looking for a problem. I don't know what the problem is.
I do question things, and I feel like sometimes the board, what we're told to, I don't want to be just accepting to what we're told. I want to question things, and I feel like that's my job. I've told people when I was running that I wanted to be a part of the organization, and that's why I wanted to be reelected, and to be just rubber stamping checks as they get passed through, you need to pay for this and this, then I don't want to, that's not what I ran on. So I'm going to question, I want to be a part of it as much as I can.
Well, remember when Alex Todd was here talking about what the board's role is?
Yep.
The board approves the budget for the project, but the details, that falls on me and the staff.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I also have a friend who, they just finished a renovation, they put it on, they finished under budget, on time, and I said, who made the decisions? And they said, board. So,
I don't think that the board made all the decisions about their renovation.
probably not all, but I do feel like they were being more involved than what we've been.
But we don't even have like the final plan yet, we don't have final renderings,
We're
we
hardly
have.
there yet.
Understood, but
So when to say rubber stamping, we haven't rubber stamped anything. We have gone into detail about what architect firm we want to use, which was a very drawn out process. We talked, we did the construction manager, we interviewed several people, we did that. We walked through what the budget, which involved numerous meetings both for the board and for a finance committee. I don't think we're rubber stamping anything. Everything we have approved, we have discussed in depth over several meetings. So to say we're just rubber stamping stuff, that's not what's going on.
I think ultimately, and I think this is maybe what you're saying, is that we need to have more decision-making power in terms of what's happening with the renovation. And, just as an example of the Great Hall, I don't want us to say, okay, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. I mean, I think that every little aspect of this needs to be discussed.
That's an impossibility though.
Yeah.
And why is that?
Because you only meet twice a month, and it's not the board's role to oversee the renovation to that level. It's my job, and it's the staff who are participating. Because we use the space, and we are doing it to the best. You hired me
To do that.
to do that. And I would hope that you would have enough belief in my ability as a library professional to be able to navigate this process. That's why I was hired, and that's what I am doing. And I am using my staff because they are experts in their area, and we are working as a team with the architects to make the renovation serve Batavia the best we can. And you can't have too many cooks in the kitchen when you're doing something like this.
Which I agree with, but I also feel like when these decisions are made, that we need to be aware of them and talk about them before they all go down.
Well, I guess I don't understand what decisions you're
Yeah,
referring to. If you're talking about the murals, that's...
No, it's not just the murals. It's more than the murals. It's the entire renovation. I mean, from what I've seen in the past in the pictures and things, are we going to agree on all of that? I mean,
Again, those were renderings. They were not
Correct.
the final plan.
Right.
So,
We don't have anything to look at right now that says, oh yeah, that's what it's gonna be. We don't.
I just want to make sure that we see, before it all comes into place and it's all been decided on, that we see what the renovations involve. And I am not saying every single little one.
Well,
What
again-
I'm saying is the entire renovation.
okay, well,
Can I add just an architect's perspective on this for a moment? Just because I think the board needs to be very clear about what decisions we actually want to make, especially when it comes to design, because that is a very dangerous road to go down. I think as a board, it is our responsibility to create the guidelines that govern the process. So we picked an architect that we trust their design style. We trust our staff because they're the experts in using the space and in the buildings. We are looking for a construction manager that is going to do the job on time, under budget, and take all of our things into consideration. But at some point, we are going to be brought designs. And we may or may not like everything, or even conceptually, the Great Hall may bother us, but we're not the experts. And so at some point, we have to be comfortable with the decisions we made in selecting the architect and allowing the management team to guide the design process with the architect and the construction manager to get the project done according to the designs. But if we are going to reserve the right that once we see those designs, that if we don't like some element that was removed, or we don't like some element and we're going to veto that, it could potentially raise costs significantly because we're going to be setting back all the meetings that have taken place to get there. And so I would like to believe that they are factoring in concerns about the mural They're factoring in concerns about sound, they're factoring in concerns about lighting, they're factoring all these things in because we picked a quality architect. At the end of the day, it is imperative that the staff and management are happy with the designs and can work with the designs and can maintain the design. There may be things that bother us, but at the end of the day, hopefully we will grow to like them because experts selected it and they want what is best for the community, and it is not in their best interest to provide a design that we hate.
We did surveys, and at no point did the community say we want to change the total aesthetic of the building. Everybody loves this building, and yes, we need new lighting, we need new paint, we need new carpet, we need new furniture, yes, but to change the whole aesthetic, that's where...
We're changing programming significantly. In
Yeah.
order to get an older building to do new things, you have to redesign significantly, so some of the things that we may have grown to like may have to change just to meet the new programming. So for example, if we are going to make a large makerspace, might take up a large area that we were previously liked for something else. Well, whether it's the artwork that's up there or whatever the case may be. But by putting the makerspace in a prominent area that takes up a lot of space is going to require redesign in order to make that work. And that may come at a cost of other things. Again, I know we did surveys. Hopefully we have the confidence that administration is taking those surveys into account, that the architect has been given that information and is factoring that into their design. Having done a lot of school designs and worked with administrations and worked with school boards, I know these discussions happen, but I know at the end of the day, we're working with the people who are on their day-to-day basis to make sure that the solution meets the guidelines that the board set up.
And those surveys were discussed when we were going over floor plans, because some of the things that were mentioned specifically in the survey are in the floor plans. The family restrooms, the almost doubling of the study rooms, those are all things that came out of the survey. So it's not, we're not ignoring it, those have all been incorporated into there.
And I think the architects have mentioned and are aware of the fact that building has some interest, not interest, but the community really likes this building and it has a certain architecture. We don't want to take away all of that. They've not said that. I think they're aware of that community sentiment. So I'm hoping that that will come out at some point. But I'm not an architect, and those are only renderings, and the next plan or the next look may be far different. We don't know that yet.
But even if it isn't,
Even if it isn't.
I think we as a board decide if we would be willing to step in and say, we don't like it, go back to the drawing board, come up with something different.
I don't think that's our role.
Well, I mean, based on the presentation that we got, it's not our role. Based on my experience, I don't think it's our role, but as a board, we can do what we want, but I don't think it's...
But that's time and money and...
Well, right, I mean, and I think it's better to decide now if we're going to have an opinion and stop it, but I think we set up this process in a specific way for a specific reason. And it is our job to make sure that all the pieces are in place to come up with the best design. It is not our job to decide what the best design is, in my opinion.
Christy, you've raised concern about information about the renovation, and I know Joe's going to talk about that, including dates that the architect's coming. At this point, the process maybe is a little scary and uncertain, but reiterating, I think what Elizabeth said, we did very carefully pick an architect, and we said how important the feel of the building was.
Exactly.
And at this point, we have to let them do their work, and we will be getting more information as we go on. But you did raise that issue, and I think that's well noted. Anyone else have anything for the board? Then I would just like to mention, you know, the board has really done a lot of board development over the years, and ILA has not yet released this, but the spring training programs that they have for the board will be announced shortly. And you know, the nice thing about them is you don't have to attend live. You can always watch the recordings. So the first one in March is going to be about finances in the library, which we all care about. April's program is going to be about artificial intelligence in the library. So I think that's going to be an extremely popular one. And then the May program is going to be about book bans and intellectual freedom. So 3 really strong programs are coming up. And as soon as I get that information, I'll send it to you. And I think those will be really helpful for us. So please watch for that, and we'll move on to number 9, Director's Report.
Just a few finance highlights. December 31st was the midpoint for our fiscal year. The remaining budget percentages are, we still have 61% as of the end of December. In our materials budget, 55% in personnel and 57% in operating. Our periodical expenses remain low. However, we're going to be having a big renewal invoice coming in January, so that'll catch us up. We have, our disbursements were high due to the roofing project, which totaled, the payouts for that totaled, $302,754. January will also be high due to more roofing payouts plus 3 payrolls in the month. And then in terms of our cash and investment report, about 1.3% of our cash is in our checking account. 46.2% is in liquid investment pools, and then 52.5% are in fixed rate funds, CDs, and U.S. Treasuries. You know, in June 30th of 2026, the library fund surplus will be transferred to the special reserve in July, and Don estimates that it'll be about $1.3 million that will go into special reserves. Let's see, roof replacement update. They, as far as I can tell, they're finished. I think they still have to do a walkthrough, Kathy, for the punch list or something.
For the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah, the punch list tomorrow.
Yeah, but they, all of their equipment has been removed. All of the gutters, they've been installed. So we just have to do a walkthrough then to see if there's any last minute things that need to be taken care of. We did have a problem with the roof hatch leaking in a rainstorm, but they're going to reseal the hatch because we think that there was something wrong with the sealant. The hatch was closed properly, but so they're going to address that. Let's see,
Aluminum brackets, is that something about that?
excuse me?
The aluminum.
We got a memo about that,
Yeah.
the brackets, and I will
BTC
forward that to everybody. That explains it.
BTC is still trying to work out what I talked to Charlie at BTC, and he said that, you know, in the original proposal, it had been steel brackets, and then All-American used aluminum. And so BTC said the aluminum will be fine. They have, their longevity is not going to be a lot less or anything. It's just that we had paid for, or we had assumed we were going to be paying for steel. So aluminum should be cheaper, and now they're trying to figure out what we will get back. And they still haven't replied, so BTC has been following up on that, and I don't have an update. But Charlie did say that the aluminum is fine. It's just that we thought we were getting steel, and we were paying for steel in that original proposal. The EV charging stations are fully operational. All 4 of the whatevers, they are working. But they weren't able to finish the striping in the parking spaces and do the final landscaping stuff because it got too cold. So they will have to do that in the spring. And the city is either today or tomorrow, they were going to put out a press release about the EV chargers and be posting things on social media. So those should be available in the next day or two. And we have been seeing people using the chargers while we're open, also in the evenings when we're closed, so they are getting used. So for the renovation, let's see. So SMC, Shales McNulty, will be attending our bi-weekly meetings with product architecture, and that started yesterday. And so I'll be working with SMC and then with Caesar as well, so that we will be able to start providing information on our website for the general public, at board meetings, etc. Because SMC will have a whole catalog or a whole archive of photos that we can use, and lots of information that will come in handy for communicating to the public once it starts going. Also, when we met yesterday, the architects, and I will be emailing this to the board, they have a renovation schedule, so to speak. February 2nd, SMC is going to have a pricing set with a narrative from consultants. So that'll be by the end of the month in February. And then March 2nd, some of the staff and I are going to be going to looking at possible furniture ideas, trying different chairs and stuff out. I don't know, it's supposed to be fun. And then on March 17th at the board meeting, the architects will present a design and report on the budget.
What date was that?
That's on the 17th of March. And then on April 15th, I don't know what this means, DD do an MEP budget update.
He is mechanical, electrical,
Okay.
plumbing.
So we'll have that in April, and then they're going to, in June, they will present their final design to the board in June. But you'll have a chance to see the pre-design in March. So if there's things you feel very strongly about in that pre-design, that is the time to talk about it and not wait until June, because that's the final design. Otherwise, it'll just stall this for months.
I noticed what I think is a typo. Isn't the name of the company Shales McNutt?
I believe
Did I
so.
say, I said McNulty. I'm
And
not sure.
that's what's written over here and in your board report, so I think we want to change that for the
Yes.
meeting minutes. And I don't know
Yes.
if we approved the wrong company,
Yes.
but we need to approve the
I
correct.
don't know why I thought it was McNulty. Okay, I will, what is it, Shales McNulty?
Shales McNutt.
McNutt.
Two T's?
Yes.
Okay. We'll make sure that the,
So I don't know if we have to rewrite or anything. I don't know if there's a company that,
no.
Has the same name,
Our minutes will reflect
Okay.
it correctly.
just wanted to make sure that clarification was in.
Thank you for pointing that out, Chris. July 27th, 95% of the bid documents will have been received by SMC. And then August is when they go out to bid. August 31st, the bids will be due. Then there'll be another board meeting once they get all those bids in that they'll present to the board in September. And construction won't start until November 1st. So that's kind of a rough outline of what to expect between now and the beginning of the actual construction phase. And I'll send this with the, yeah, I'll send this to the board after the meeting today. Any questions about that?
Subject should change depending on variables,
Yes.
perhaps.
Yeah. Our website, we continue to work with Library Market on tweaking. We just got a response from them with our punch list, and I think everything's been resolved at this point, or mostly.
Most things, just small things left.
Yeah. Let's see. So I'm really excited to introduce you all to our new circulation and services manager, Teresa.
Hi.
Teresa Lang, who has worked at the Glen Ellen Public Library, Poplar Creek Public Library, and most recently at the A.C. Bueller Library. We're really excited to have Teresa join us. She has a lovely accent from New Zealand. And today is her second day, and she's getting to know all the staff, including her in her own department. So welcome, Teresa. We're very happy you're
Thank
here.
you. Welcome.
Welcome.
Let's see. And then Megan had her 2-year anniversary at the beginning of January or December? January.
Megan who?
Take your pick. Her name is Clef. We're trying to remember to use Clef instead of O'Keefe. So in terms of December was a busy month in terms of donations. We had about $200 donated directly to the library, mostly for gift books in memory of someone. 2 in memory of April Alana Heiberger by Barbara Miner and Teresa Nick, and then we had an anonymous donation of $100. And then to the Community Foundation, we had over $6,000 donated. The first, about $3,000 was in honor of Ruth Coyne from family members. We also had the American Endowment Foundation gave us $3,000, which I'm not,
Who is that?
I have no idea. We're gonna have to follow up on that because I don't know who that is. And then Livio A. Lupi made a $50 donation. The Homestead Residential Council, they give us an annual donation every year, and they gave us $300. Rita Fearborn with her monthly $20 donation, and then Kristen Dwyer made a $50 donation directly to the Community Foundation. So at the end of December, our fund balance in that with the foundation is $141,500.88. And then our upcoming board meeting on Thursday the 5th, I think we'll have the final draft of the bylaws, along with Chris very kindly made a whole list of what, as he went through the old and the new and made a list of all the different changes that were made in terms of, whether a section moved or what was added to that section. So I will be sending that list along with the current bylaws and then the proposed final draft of the bylaws with your February 5th Cal meeting agenda.
And I'm not positive that I caught every change, but I think I did.
It's a pretty good list.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah. Okay,
So Joe, the Community Foundation,
yeah,
so what do we have those funds here for?
we don't have,
What do we typically use those funds for?
well, I think there was, at one point, it was for the maps.
Right.
Yeah.
There were other things that is that, we get grants from the Friends of the Library, we do small little things like that. Is that what we see these
We
for? Is
haven't really, I don't think we've used any community foundation funds
We just
since I've been here.
saving it for a rainy day?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we could earmark it for a specific part of the renovation, or it could be separate from the renovation and be, earmarked for programming or services or whatever.
Okay. Thanks.
And how is that, the $200 accounted for in the 6,420? Is the 6,420 of those tax exempt?
Well, anytime you make a donation to a charity, you can write it off on your taxes. So-
Okay.
So
even
it was in December, there were $6,420 was donated directly to the Community Foundation.
and the 200 will go to the Community Foundation?
No, that 200 went directly to the library. So those funds are used for buying gifts in memory of someone. And then it doesn't go to the foundation at all, it's separate.
But they're not tax deductible?
anytime you make a
Yeah,
donation,
they
it's
are.
tax deductible.
It's
Yes.
to the library.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have made gift deductions to the library books in honor of people who have died, and those donations are tax deductible.
oh, sorry. And now stats. Let's see, so Marion and I were talking before the meeting about Geneva there was an article in the Daily Herald and they were talking about how many library visitors they had in the last year, et cetera. And I haven't like looked to compare what the numbers are compared to our numbers, but we get, just in the month of December, we had over 2,100 people from Geneva come here to borrow materials. So, excuse me, they may get a lot of activity at Geneva, but we also get a lot of activity here from Geneva residents. So I just think that's interesting to point out. And they are routinely visiting. It's up 7% from this time last year. However, it's gone down with St. Charles and Messenger slightly, so that they're using our library a little less than they were the previous year. But Aurora and Geneva have both gone up. Just an interesting thing to remember that we get visited by a lot of people, not just Batavia residents. Let's see, in the month of December, we added 70 new resident cards. So we have, so far this fiscal year, we've added 535 library cards, new library card holders.
This fiscal year?
Yep.
That's only right now.
It's the
Oh,
last.
fiscal year, sorry.
It's the last.
Yeah.
6 months in?
Yeah.
6 months, yes.
It's, we do anywhere between about 65 to 100 a month on average. We're up by 4 visitors for the month of December this fiscal year from last fiscal year. And our full attendance year to date is slightly higher, not enough to warrant a percentage change. And our meeting room reservations and attendance is a bit down, but our study room usage is up by 1%, which will definitely increase when we have more study rooms available after the renovation. Let's see, we did a total of, where's the total programs? We did 49 programs in the month of December with 3,143 people in attendance. So year to date, we've hosted 374 programs with over 17,000 attendees. Our databases are up 27% from December of last year, but down year to date, which I think is interesting, but I'm not sure why that is. We have to look back at our stats tracking. Let's see. We had 1,784 reference questions in the month of December, with a total of 13,547 for the fiscal year. Our circulation use is roughly on par with last year. And same with our library visitors, they're pretty neck and neck. And for our total programs, well, we already talked about our programs. We're not comparing them to last year in our graphs, but you can see the charts there that also give you a visual of our programs and attendees for the month and for the fiscal year. Any questions about stats? Sorry. Oh, so I also wanted to do a summary of our strategic plan, our one-year review. Sorry, I'm opening these up on my, it looks like something that I had attached is no longer here, but I had a whole,
I'm seeing it.
yeah, no, I have that. It's just that I also had highlights for each of the goals. And I don't know why I thought I had attached it, but it's not there anymore. So, sorry, my computer is not cooperating. So this is a, just a visual aid to kind of see our progress with our strategic plan. And I color-coded it kind of according to kind of when in the 3-year period we would be addressing some of these things. So with Engage Our Community, the 1.1 and 1.2, developing and encouraging more partnerships and collaboration and prioritizing innovative and inclusive and responsive library programs and services, that's pretty much through the whole 3-year period. But the 1.3, expanding communications to raise awareness of library services, we really wanted to focus on that in the first year. And we've made some progress, but we still have some things to do. And then we're to the right of that where you have the graph. It's 33% because we have definitely for this first year been going full steam ahead with engaging our community. And we have, once the 3 years are up, if we keep this momentum going, even during the renovation, then we'll have reached our goal of 100%. And I'm really sorry that the other attachment that I had put on here is provide excellent user experiences, optimize function and comfort of library spaces to benefit user experience, and improve library accessibility to enhance ease of use for patrons and staff. A lot of that is going to be in year 2 and 3 because it's so much a part of the renovation and how the renovation is going to address those goals. But we have done small things here and there to increase accessibility, our new website being one. We've also we've created the hot picks and made a browsing area there. So we are doing small tweaks, but a bulk of that's going to really show up next year and the year after. Nurture a positive and collaborative culture that is also spanning for the whole 3 years. So we've been really promoting collaboration and positive team dynamics that engage staff and benefit the community, and investing in staff development to improve confidence, knowledge, and safety. So we have, I think we've done over 540 hours of professional training in that year across the library in all departments. And that can include anything from a webinar to a course, or maybe you attended a conference, etc.
Is that an increase from previous years?
We never tracked it before.
Okay.
We did track it last year. I don't know if we tracked it as diligently as we did in fiscal year. Well, because our strategic plan is on a calendar year, but we track things on a fiscal year.
But now we have a baseline.
Sorry?
Now we have a baseline.
Yes.
So.
And then we sent, we had staff who presented at ILA. We had Amy, Marks, and Mallory, I believe, presented at the, not ILA conference. And then Misty jumped at a poster session at ILA. Misty also did another presentation with another library professional in another library, and I forget what.
Library Counts, it's like a subset of
It's a
ELA.
pre-conference
Yeah,
thing. It's all about statistics and data. Yeah. And somebody else I thought presented something. This was in the document that I thought was attached to this, and it's not here. But I will email that to the board. And then in that document, I just go through each of the goals in different sections, highlighting some things that we have done in this last 12 months to address those goals. We have 3 people going to PLA in the spring, and ALA is going to be in Chicago this summer, so we'll probably be sending quite a few staff to that. Anything else I want to highlight? We've been doing our 4 staff development days, quarterly ones, covering everything from customer service to, safety and communication and all sorts of things. we're trying to get the police, well, we wanted the police to come to our February staff development day to talk about it, to do an active shooter training, because we try to do that every year or two, every couple of years. And we haven't had one since I've been here, but they can't come until May, so now we gotta figure out what we're gonna do for February. But we combine things with professional development, like specific to librarianship, but also safety and security and, best practices, et cetera. So they've been, we also, in this last year, according to our strategic plan, one of our staff development days was the all-day where we went and visited libraries to get ideas for our renovation, to see how other libraries function and, different highlights in their facilities, and we got behind-the-scenes tours, and I would say at least half of those libraries had been through a renovation with product architecture, and so it was also good to get feedback from them about the process, working with them. So we've tried to get the staff as involved as possible with the renovation. I haven't, up till the budget was approved, I hadn't really wanted to go into too much detail because I didn't want to say, we're going to do this, and then have to say, well, we're only going to do this. So now that we have our budget approved and we're moving forward, I feel much more comfortable sharing as much information as I can with staff as this, and with the board, as this progresses. Because I don't have to say, sorry, fooled you, we're not doing that. So we're going to be talking about the renovation at the staff development.
Quick question. So reading through this, obviously our strategic plan should guide everything that we do. Maybe it might make the board feel more comfortable if we can point out how this is directly relating to the renovation. Like, we made this decision because we were collaborative and we went through this process and it's important. Or we decided to do this because we wanted to improve accessibility or make the library more comfortable, those types of things, just to highlight that the board has guided this process.
Yeah.
But we guided the process by providing the strategic plan.
Yeah. Well, and as we're going, we'll have a lot more detail for that, that specific, that middle goal in this year and the next, where it'll outline those types of things.
But I think keeping that relation kind of, for the board, lets us know that, hey, we're doing exactly what we wanted to do based on our strategic plan.
Here's the document that I have on there. Yeah. Anyway, I will email this to you, and my apologies that it didn't show up on here. But it just goes over, and it doesn't, they're highlights. There's a lot more that could have gone on this list, but it gives you an idea of all the work that we've been doing towards a strategic plan. And I think it's been very successful. I mean, we have done things like for the goal 2, provide excellent user experiences. Created the new browsing and seating area at Hotpix. We converted the computer lab into a maker zone by relocating the computers outside in the main part of the library and installing new maker equipment. We hired All-American to replace the roof. We added additional seating for caregivers in the youth department and created improved seating options for children with these child-sized wooden tables and chairs. Improving our accessibility, we purchased wire display racks for collection case tops and shelving ends to improve visibility and merchandising of materials. We completed a Wi-Fi upgrade in April. We launched a new, more user-friendly website that improves navigation and patron engagement. So even though a bulk of those goals will be really addressed with the renovation, we are still working on those things, even now, about improving accessibility and optimizing the space. So I'll send this document to all of you before I leave tonight.
the training days, the half days, that's working out well.
Yep, I think so.
It seems like so much is happening that it's nice that those days are coming up regularly throughout the year instead of just, one time.
Yeah, I would say so.
But
I think they're more effective. It also allows the departments to meet with their staff because everyone is there, or most everyone is there. It's very difficult for circulation, adult and teen services, and youth services to have staff meetings because their schedules are, nobody's ever here all at the same time. So now they can have at least 4 times a year an all staff meeting for their departments, which has been very important.
any other strategic plan comments or observations? Joe, you're done then?
Oh, I am, sorry, yeah.
All right, youth services.
I'm gonna say, I believe I'm up. All right, well, I say this every month, but it's always weird talking about the previous month because I feel like that was like many, many moons ago. But December, we traditionally have a lot more family programs during the month of December. It's a busy time for everybody with the holidays and holiday things going on at the schools, so we tend not to focus so much on more narrow age programming. That said, we had our usual monthly sensory playtime, and for school age we did have an art workshop with Crayola Imagine Arts Academy, which was a lot of fun at the beginning of December, and you can see some really cute pictures of some of the polar bear art that the kiddos created. This year we offered a gingerbread house battle for 2 different age groups. So we had one for middle schoolers, and you can see some pictures there of their creativity. And we also had, which you'll see later in the board report, one for families. And it was a lot of fun seeing parents and kids, or caregivers and kids, putting those together. We also offered a drop-in and make some create your own holiday gifts for kids, and it was a very busy drop-in program. You can see we had 89 children and their caregivers at that drop-in program, and they made all kinds of super cute little things. So that's something I think that we're probably going to plan on offering annually because it's proven to be a success. We continue to offer a family story time on Tuesday nights, Stuffies and Stories, where our friends can come in their PJs and bring their favorite stuffed animal, and Melissa Cunningham does a lovely, lovely job with that program, and it really does have a pretty steady following. And then, like I said, we had the family gingerbread house battle, and I could not choose just one photo. There were so many cool creations, so I may have gotten a little carried away there. We did some also drop-in programs around holiday breaks, so you can see the drop-in family game day. The friends were very gracious in funding this little wind, I don't even know what to call it, like catapult basically, and so you could put little colorful scarves in it and they kind of shoot out the other end, and we had some friends that were burning off a lot of post-holiday energy with that, and we had some other sensory activities as well. Monthly Lego Club continues to be a lot of fun, and we have a lot of really cool creations. They're displayed as they always are on the little shelf outside our program room, so if you want to pop down after the board meeting and have a look, feel free. And then we did have a sold-out show with Dan Go doing some magic and art on the 30th, and there were 133 people in attendance at that. Our winter reading challenge is still going strong. I know I mentioned last month we returned to focusing on reading. In the past, our winter challenge had focused a little more on activities, thinking that maybe families would be really busy, and it was very stagnant. We weren't getting a lot of participation rather. And so this year we've gone back to focusing on reading, and we've really seen a resurgence. Unfortunately, I did not think to bring my stats from last year, and it is kind of like comparing apples to oranges, but we have 292 people signed up as of today for the program, which is really quite good for us. And half of those already have reached the first level, and we will complete the program at the end of the month. So I'm very pleased with those preliminary numbers, and I think that it's safe to say that's probably going to be our focus going forward. We do continue to offer some additional activities that are optional. So if kids aren't real like rah-rah reading, there are still some ways to get them involved, while also encouraging them to keep working on those skills. And as always, they're always welcome to read whatever they wish. We don't want it to seem too much like school, so we don't prescribe what they need to read at all. Anything at all they want to read counts. And we continue to do monthly outreach with Batavia Nursery School, who comes and visits us on one Monday a month, and then Mill Creek Cooperative Preschool came and visited us as well. And last but not least, our dramatic play theme was coffee shop for the month of December, or I'm sorry, it was gingerbread. I forgot to update that. Should say gingerbread, not coffee shop. Coffee shop was in the month before. So anyway, a lot of cute play there with kids creating gingerbread cookies and selling them, and I always get a kick out of how much they sell them for. It's really fun to sit there and overhear some of the back and forth. Yes, yes. And then our monthly passive activity around the department was the Grinch, and Mary Podrasky did a lovely job making it very inclusive. So we had a lot of varying holiday symbols and objects. So we had a Canara, dreidels, and more. So a lot of fun to see those different holiday traditions reflected. Any questions?
It looks like great fun.
Always. We know how to bring fun, for sure.
So before I jump back to December, I did want to give a shout out to Caesar and to all our staff that works in our social media. I'm not sure if anyone saw about a week ago, we had a picture up of someone that had made a custom shirt ahead of the Bears game, and it got a huge response. I think like 800 people had liked it.
Or over like 100 something.
Yeah, it was tons of shares and comments
all over the place.
but it also translated over the last week. We've had at least 9 people come in to actually use the Key President sublimation printer who didn't even know it existed before. So we are very grateful for the great communication and seeing the impact that it has when stuff like that goes out. So I figured if I waited till next month, I'd forget that it happened. So. But going back to December, we did have a strong month. We had 490 people come to 23 programs, and we had 140 people participate in some passive programs. And we had just over 1,500 people attend virtual programs, which that number has been getting so high it's making me suspicious. We have actually really looked into it to verify it is people truly using that Library Speakers Consortium platform. And those numbers are really just coming from, we have a specific one for just the Batavia Library users. So they are local numbers. We've verified it in a bunch of different ways with the company that we collaborate with. So we're just really happy to see that it's taking off really, really well for us. We knew this one when we switched was slightly more expensive, but had bigger name authors and a lot more events. And I'm just really excited to see that people are finding it. We also had a lovely holiday concert with the high school students from VHS who came and performed from one of the chamber orchestra was the group that came this time. I really love anytime we can have the musicians from the high school come and play. It's always nice to see people in the lobby kind of stop and just wander in. So we ended up with 60 people that came and attended, and everyone really enjoyed it. We will definitely have them back. I think they're coming back in March to do, it might be a different group from the high school because they alternate, but we will have the musicians back for sure. Speaking of BHS, we also attended 2 outreach events. Misty Jump went to Pride Fest and interacted with 65 students, and Mallory Manning interacted with 73 students at her monthly visit. And we partnered with them on the Best Buddies tree again, which is a really cute program between the buddies and their mentors, where a tree goes up in our reading room and they design all the ornaments, and then they're really excited to come and see it. So we were happy to feature that again in the month of December. And then in case anyone's wondering what librarians get really excited about, we finally fit on our shelves. So after 2 years of a lot of work with the collections and working across departments with facilities and with circulation and the ATS team, and a lot of really extensive work, we finally have our full collection fit correctly on the shelves to make it easy for people to access things. not have books fall on your head from the top shelf, have things actually be able to be reshelved because there's space. And so we're really excited to have finally hit that metric. It was a goal for a long time. And we had another really successful round of the dementia-friendly movie program at Imagine Batavia. Misty's actually going to work with them to see if we can partner even more heavily on this with them, to see if we can arrange a way to just either feature it more often or be able to have more people come, because it's really been catching on and we're seeing a big community need. So we're happy to keep that going and hopefully even increase it in the future. Winter reading's going well. We do have 123 active readers as of whenever I sent this to you, which means that's 123 people who have logged at least one book that they've read during winter reading. Winter is never as strong as summer, but this is building on. In the last few years, we've made some changes to our reading programs, and it does seem to be enticing our community to engage with it a little more strongly. So we're excited to see that keep going. And our senior programs remain popular, and mainly I just really liked the pictures of them laughing and crafting together. They really have formed such a strong bond with each other, and a lot of times when they're leading a program, I hear them making lunch plans and talking about visiting each other, so it's just really nice to see how strong that group bond has been and how well that's going. So that was December for us.
Great to see how many different groups you're providing services for. All right, number 11, upcoming meetings. We have 2 upcoming meetings, and I can't see the dates right now.
February 5th and February 17th.
Thank you. And then our last item
I have
is-
one quick thing real quick.
Sure.
You reminded me when you did the training, I had to do the online training, and I'm not sure if I'm the only trustee that needs to do it, but.
Which one, the OMA?
Harassment. Well,
No, the
Anti-harassment.
harassment one.
We encourage everyone to do it at annual. The staff have to do it annually, and we encourage the board to do it annually.
Okay, so I did mine, I didn't know if anybody
I got it.
had to do it or wanted to do it, so. Just a reminder.
Okay, our last item is adjournment. I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I will second that motion.
Motion by trustee Russo and second by trustee Fasano. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.